Welcome again to the D4 channel. And here we give you all sorts of topics and things to think about, and some of the work that we're doing with clients on people development, leadership development, team dynamics, communication, strategy. Those are some of the things that we help clients with the most. The following is one of the topics that, if we look back across 2025, it was one of the ones that we get asked about most often, or that we see as missing when people start telling us about the problems they have on team dynamics or a leader not performing like they should. This topic comes up over and over again, and it's one that people struggle with. It's the topic of accountability. How do we do it? What does it mean? What does it look like? So what you're about to see is a small clip from a larger talk that Mike did on accountability for a mastermind event that we did in 2025. We thought this is a great topic just for all the leaders there. It produced a lot of conversations and a lot of people taking notes about how to get this right and also how to teach their people to get it right. So hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, or reach out to us if you'd like to know how to get your leaders trained to hold their people accountable and what good accountability looks like and what the benefits are for your organization. Please like and subscribe to this video channel if you've gotten some value out of it. And I hope you enjoy and hope that your leaders practice good accountability in this next year.
Employees cannot be held accountable if they aren't clear on what they're expected to do, what's expected from them. Like, I don't know, you didn't tell me. We should have known. It's in your job description. You saw it 4 years ago. What? Figure it out, which is fine, but then document it and make sure you're good with it. Right? Here's what prevents this from working is the B word. We're busy. It's crazy busy. You realize I'm busy. So my new question is, when they say that, I say, is it good busy or bad busy? Because good busy is, we got more work than we can handle. That's awesome. Bad busy is, I'm doing all this minutia stuff that really doesn't move the ball forward. So I want you to think about, what is something that you may be frustrated about one of your employees, and you need to have an accountability conversation, but maybe I was not as clear as I need to be. Now, if I've told you 15 times, you've nodded your head 15 times, and you should know how to do this because it was part of your onboarding and it's in your regular reviews and all these things, then I have to ask myself the question, are they the right person for this role? But until we've set expectations, until we've given them the training for it and the support, and we've challenged them, support challenge matrix for those of you playing at home, until we've done all that, until we've done our part, it's really tough to hold them accountable because it starts with us. All right. Framework. I said I was going to give it to you. Here it is. All right, so these are steps. Ronnie actually touched on a couple of these. Maybe there's 4 steps, maybe there's 8 steps. This is a guide. Like, if we don't have anything for setting up an accountability conversation, this is your starting point. First of all, ID the commitment or the expectations that we talked about, right? We're not solving world hunger here, folks, but what's the conversation I need to talk to you about? What was the commitment or understanding that I think we made? Oh yeah, sorry. Clarity. Was I clear? Just because I said it doesn't mean I communicated it well. Communication is sending information and receiving it and understanding it. Okay? So first is, what's the expectation that Heidi and I need to talk about? Was I clear? Next one, what was the gap? Like I said, we needed to have 15 new leads per week, and you've been giving us 6 new leads per week. So the gap is that delta. So what happened versus what was expected? Again, go back to step 1. The other person needs to understand what the expected was. Just like Alicia's comment about billable, or Uh, Number of clients. Yep. Not billable hours. Vicky, you can see what's on my mind. Invite their perspective. Do not ask yes or no questions. Like, avoid yes or no questions wherever possible, especially if you're having discussions around performance, behavior, understanding. Because the junior person's going to go, you have any questions? Then what they do is they go down the hall because Mike has been in the role 6 months longer than me, and I ask him. He's like, I don't know. I've only been here 6 months longer than you. Right? A lot of times people won't say they don't know what they're doing sometimes, especially younger people. Here's why. Hey, I haven't picked on you. It's your turn. So Heidi just hired me a year ago. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. She thinks I'm doing a good job at it. She just gave me a new assignment. I don't really want to ask her follow-up questions because if I ask her follow-up questions, she may think I don't know what I'm doing, and then she may have an accountability conversation with me. She may fire me. Like some people, that's how it goes. It's just like this. It's a spiral if we're not careful. Invite their perspective, open-ended questions. Don't ask yes or no questions. Have them articulate in their words what they think happened. Because when you get that out of them, you realize that they do not understand. Right? The phrase I got from my buddy in the back there, get them to play their cards first. Like I use that term a lot, Mike. I owe you money. By asking the open-ended question, they play their cards. And you're like, oh, that's what I have to work with. Now I know. That's, as we say in the South, you may say, bless your heart. Talk about the impact that their behavior or poor performance had on something else, right? The impact that Alicia making that comment in that meeting to Vicky, here's the impact that it had. I like to believe if people really understand the impact of their actions or non-actions, they're going to want to change. If they don't, they may not be a good fit for us. So, but make sure they understand the what for. Next steps. Hey, if you don't mind, would you, if we can get those numbers looking better, whenever you get a chance, can you, right? It, there it is. It's easier at the time. Whoa, I got out of that. High five. All right. Right. But it's going to come back. You know, it's going to come back. So asking them what their feedback was, do they acknowledge? They need to acknowledge something went wrong somewhere. Because if they don't acknowledge they had some culpability in the situation, guess what? It's going to happen again. Because if I don't take ownership of it, whatever I tell you you have to do is not going to stick. However, if you describe it to them and you described it to them earlier, you talk about the impact, you give them an opportunity to share their perspective, you ask them what they think they're going to do about it. So there's a really good book by Dan Martell called Buy Back Your Time. And one of the tools that he talks about is called 131. So, but boy, he has taught his people, when you bring me a problem or an issue, bring me one focused issue. Don't let it be solve world hunger or boil the ocean. Bring me one focused issue because it shows you've thought about it. Give me 3 potential suggestions, or it could be 2, but give me 3 potential suggestions and then tell me the one that you would pick. Like I've heard it called a lot of different things over the years, but in his book, he calls it 131. So he didn't just show up one day and somebody bring him a problem. He goes, 131. He had taught his people over the years, this is how we're going to operate, because it teaches them to be thinkers. If I just give you the answer, then you'll go away and close the door on your way out. Talk about the impact. Next steps. What are you going to do about it? Hannah, we're going to get back together next Tuesday afternoon at a 3:00 meeting, and I just want you to share kind of your progress on how you're going to address this situation. Right? Like I love putting a date in the future because people will react to, Oh, we got to talk about this again. I got to get my stuff together. Right. The last one. This is the one that nobody ever wants to talk about. Why? Why don't we ever want to talk about consequences? They have to understand there's implications. So, for example, a consequence could be um, until we're able to stay on track with these assignments and turn in our timesheets on time, you're going to be limited on the types of projects that I'm going to be able to give to you. It could be a PIP, right? It could be a PIP that we have to put folks on. So I have to apologize because I was going to tell you a story at the beginning. I like stories to start out with. Um, One of the folks that we do coaching with, they had an issue with somebody putting in their time into their system on a daily basis. It's a design firm. I'll just say who it is. It's not hers though. And it had gone. I said, "How long has this been going on?" Because they're telling me this. I can't get them to do that. How long has it been going on? Oh, about 3 months. 3 months. Like it should have gone on 1 week. So I talked to them about saying, here's the impact. The impact is money. Like if we don't have our time in, I can't bill the client. The client's not going to pay us for it. So it had gone on for 3 months. The manager had gotten so frustrated over time because they had hinted around, hey, can you get your, be sure you get your stuff in by 4:30 each day. Will you? Yes. She had that conversation about 5 times over 3 weeks. It just never got better. So she finally had the conversation that says, if you're not able to get your time in starting tomorrow on time, we're going to need to put you on a PIP, personal improvement plan. And as part of that personal improvement plan, you're going to have 30 days, right, to be back on track, consistent, no errors, or we're going to really have to question, are you the right fit for this role? Because something as simple as that, like if you can't do that, then how are you going to move on and upwards, right? And if you can't do the simple things. I would say a lot of times, depending on how severe the issue is you're talking about, you need to have some idea of eventually what are going to be the consequences, at least for yourself. Because if you can keep that in mind, that should also give you an idea of the types of next steps and timing. I love to give dates. I'm a big believer in dates, right? Hey, by next Thursday, I need you to have a recovery plan on how we're going to get back in shape with this. Also, think about too how we can avoid this happening again. Okay? Right. And then you know what I do? I go back to my calendar and I put 3 o'clock next Friday and I invite them to that meeting. So consequences.